So 1 year ago, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I decided to jump in and do real estate. I know what it was going to be like. I was blessed enough to be able to make $30,000 in commissions last month.
So where were you 1 year ago before you jumped into real estate?
1 year ago today, I mean, it's September, so I think I just talked to you about being a real estate agent about 1 year ago. So I would probably just signed up to take the online classes a year ago.
What were you feeling whenever you first thought about jumping into real estate?
I mean, I was excited. I felt like I was at a point in my life where I needed to do something different. I wanted to do something different. As I spoke to you about back then, I'd always been interested in real estate, but my life was taking me other directions. And then a year ago, it was like, you know what, it's time to give this a shot. And I felt like I could be good at it, but you just never know. So I just went for it. And I was excited. I was excited about it. I was excited to do the classes, and I hated school. I didn't like sitting in classrooms. In college, I didn't like it. But I was excited to actually do these classes and learn it and take the tests and do all that.
If you were somebody who's thinking about getting started in real estate, when you took the classes, what surprised you? Good or bad?
I mean, my instructor was very good. I liked the way that she walked us through everything. It still was tough, even excited as I was and as pressed as I was to feel like I needed to do this. Sitting in front of a computer all day for 8 hours, that's tough. I remember I would count down the minutes sometimes until they gave us a break, and I would lay on my couch and close my eyes for the 10-minute break until I'd hear them talking on the computer again. I'd get back up and walk over there. So that was the toughest part, honestly, just staring at a screen for 8 hours. But the information, it was a lot of information, but not necessarily hard to comprehend, but just a lot of information.
Gotcha. So do you think, as somebody who might be interested in getting started in real estate, because you've been pretty successful so far in your first 9 months, I guess.
Yep.
Completely. You've got how many deals done?
I've gotten 8 done. My 9th is under contract right now. So
Okay.
1 a month.
So you're pretty much killing it right now in the real estate world. I'll say it for you.
Yeah, I don't know what killing it is. Yeah, that's, like I said, I'm still brand new at it. But
A lot of people would shank people or slash their tires to do a deal every month for their very first year. So what was the biggest surprise in the real estate industry? I asked you what was the biggest surprise in schoolwork.
I guess the biggest surprise would be you could be one phone call away from a deal and you feel like nothing's going on. You haven't got anything going on for 2 to 3 weeks. You don't feel like making phone calls anymore, and you just make that one phone call. Next thing you know, you got another. So I would just encourage people to, when you're at that point, because you will get to that point in real estate, even if you do 1 a month. I was at that point where it was I just don't know if this is going to work out. Then you make that one phone call, then you got one, and then you do it again. So that's the most surprising thing, is how close you can be to a deal and at the same time be so far away. That was kind of the most surprising thing.
It's interesting you bring that up, because I think a lot of this is something that you brought from your previous career of being a trainer. You're used to going to the gym when you don't want to. You got to eat healthy whenever you don't want to.
Sure.
From all that kind of situation, and so many people aren't willing to do that grind. So for somebody who might be thinking about becoming a realtor and things like that, how hard is it on the daily to make you do stuff?
As you said, you've got to be self-motivated, because you don't have to clock in. It's not an 8 to 5. You're not punching a time card. No one's going to check on you. If you're just being lazy, you're not doing anything. So you've got to want to do it yourself. So some days are harder than others, of course. But like I said, if you just continue to keep making yourself, make those phone calls, make that post, make a video, talk to somebody, it'll happen.
Cool, man. Question for you. What do you think your biggest challenge was in your first couple months?
So I was blessed in that aspect. The very first, I passed the test, I think sometime around Thanksgiving, and then I did all my onboard training from the end of November all through December. So I didn't even pay for having my less till January 1, and I was able to get a deal under contract January 2nd or 3rd, just from a referral of a friend. So that was probably abnormal for most people to have one that fast. But then after that is where that law came in that I was talking about, where it was a month and nothing happened. And that's when I'm man, I don't know if I might have got lucky that first one. I don't know if this is going to work out. And then I remember making that phone call that I'm talking about. I was man, I'm not going to call this person. I've called her twice already. She doesn't answer. And right before Bonnie and Amanda, we were about to go look at an open house or something. Our broker's open or something like that. And I made that phone call, and they sat there and listened to me talk to them afterwards, and that turned into deal number 2.
Were you nervous talking in front of other agents at the beginning?
At the beginning, I think so. But certain others, I made relationships with you guys that I didn't know pretty quickly. I mean, that is another thing about Mantle, is it is a very family friendly feel. If you put yourself there, if you just hide at home all the time and never come to the office, you're not gonna get that vibe. But there's a lot of people in this office that are willing to help you. Even though technically you're kind of their competition, they're still willing to make you better and to help you out and answer your questions, phone calls, all that.
So you mentioned onboarding. A lot of people don't actually know what onboarding is or have onboarding in other companies, things like that. What was the onboarding process like? How long did it take you? What did you learn from it that you didn't know from real estate school?
Yeah, so real estate school teaches you the laws, basically, what's illegal and not illegal and how not to get sued. It doesn't teach you how to manage clients and talk to people on the phone, handle a lead system, schedule follow-ups. It doesn't teach you how to be an agent. So all the onboarding did that. I think it took me, I was a little bit faster because I told Blythe, it's like, hey, look, I don't have time to play around. I was like, I'm willing to come up here and meet you for training whenever. So mine took me like 5 to 6 weeks, 20 some days of in-person training, and then other things outside of it too. A total of like 30 some days, but I did it around 6 weeks.
So a little bit more than what most people assume of hang your license here, here's the handbook, go do your thing.
Yeah, I had no idea that that's what it was gonna be like or that it was gonna take that long. I was like, man, I'm done with real estate school. I'm excited to be done with it. Let's get to work. And I was like, hold on a second, you got a lot more to learn. And I'm still learning.
I think we all are. If not, we're stupid in the first place to think that we're not learning. So who helped you figure out things whenever you got stuck around here?
A lot of people. You know, we can go to the brokers in charge first, such as yourself, Bonnie, Blythe. You know, if I can't get one of you, the other one always answers. And then as talking about agents here specifically that go above and beyond to do things that help you with real estate or outside of real estate, Kelton Gentle, Matt Ham, Amanda Miller, Caroline James, those 4 specifically, I remember moments of when they went out of their way to help me when they didn't have to and they got nothing out of it.
So it's not like a cubicle style real estate company around here where you're like you said earlier, that they're your competition, but they don't act like it.
No.
Am I wrong off of that?
No, I mean, like I say, Kelton went out of his way in the very beginning to help me, especially make videos and content. And Matt was always there too, to encourage, especially during those times of down. There's not a lot going on. Amanda was very encouraging as well. Caroline took time to help me be better at social media posts and how to go about doing things like that. And then of course, you know, like I said, you guys as brokers in charge, answering questions quickly. I think my first deal happened at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night on a Monday. And I think I got 2 of you to respond on the phone that night.
Not sure how.
Yeah, I don't think it was you. I think it was Bonnie and Blythe, but you were quick to respond at 4 a.m.
Yeah, 4 a.m. I'm there for you, buddy.
Yeah.
That sort of goes on one of the other questions I have here. Can you give me an example of something you learned directly from the mentorship, like from Blythe's training and stuff like that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, just how to schedule follow-ups. That way you can keep, because when you start to get involved and you do have a lot of big client base, it's hard to keep, like, when did I talk to that person last, or what did they say? Blake did a good job of explaining to me how to schedule follow-ups and keep notes so that I could refer back to, oh yeah, that's what that person was talking about, and get, you know, a feel of their situation. So that was one time when she definitely helped me out, and I still use all that knowledge to schedule follow-ups.
So your onboarding isn't just contract closings, how to talk to one client and use their CRM, correct?
Right, it's so much more than that. Like, I remember you asking me, oh, okay, you know, you passed the real estate test on the first try, congratulations. But if I gave you this buyer, what would you do with this situation? You have no idea. You don't know how to talk. You can guess, but there's a method to it.
Sometimes there's a method to madness, other times we just think till we make it better. So how do you think having real access to leadership here versus a big brokerage impacted your success?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like I'm never alone in it. I feel like if I have a question, the biggest thing for me is if someone asks me a question and I don't know the answer, I'm not going to BS and tell them something. I'm going to say, I will find out for you. And I can find out quickly because I can ask you, or I can ask Bonnie, or I can ask Blythe. And if you guys don't, one of the other 4 or 5 that I mentioned will. So it helps you also look good in the client's eyes because you're answering their questions quickly and with accuracy.
All right, I'm going to ask you an uncomfortable question here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
How do you feel when you first saw that big first month, that $30,000 in 1 month?
I mean, I know when I first started out, like, I set goals of what I would, and I set realistic goals from talking to you guys, and, you know, the fact that I was able to do 30,000 in commissions in 1 month. I mean, you know, it's definitely exciting, but it gives me like a sense of peace to know that what I'm doing is working and I'll be okay as long as I just keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, it's a good feeling, but I know that you can't stop.
What makes you think that those clients that you close big deals with in that month, as we all know, it's not small ones, that why do they trust you?
So the biggest one, the biggest deal client, I guess, they trusted me the most because I was just real with them from the beginning. They didn't even know I was a real estate agent. I was actually someone that helped coach my son, and I was just his assistant. And I guess he saw how I was with the kids. He saw how I treated the parents, how I was honest with them. You know, you have some difficult conversations sometimes when you're talking about talent and kids and where you need to move people. And then I didn't push them. When I did find out that they might be in the market, this is actually some advice that I got from Matt. It's like you kind of put that bug in their ear a little bit, like, hey, I could help you. I can help you if you want. And if not, no pressure. And you don't continuously nag them about it. But then, you know, if you don't hear anything for a week or two, I think realness, just being real with them and casual is why they trusted me. And they realized that whether they use me or not, I was still going to be their friend. You know, whether they picked me to be their agent or not, or sold or not, or bought or not, it wasn't going to change anything. But if they wanted to, I was there for them.
So what I'm sort of gathering from what you're saying here is it doesn't actually matter how much experience you have. It matters how much somebody trusts you to be able to do the right things.
Yeah, I think it's a big percentage of it is just the relationship that you have with people and building an actual bond. It's not just about, oh, okay, let's get this deal done and then see you later. Like, it's more of a, like I said, a relationship.
Cool. What's the difference between Mantle compared to a big box brokerage?
I think the accessibility to the people that own the company is the main thing. And then, like I said earlier, is the family feel, the friendships and the bond of the agents that work in this office. Not everyone, of course, but there's a close group of us of like 5 to 10 that will be there if you need us for anything, even if it's not real estate involved.
Is it as crazy as what social media thinks it is?
What do you mean crazy?
Some people compare us to the Wolf of Wall Street.
No, no. I would think, if anything, it's more like I keep repeating, it's like a family vibe. It's not
Some more Sopranos than Wolf of Wall Street? Or not even go that far?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never even watched The Sopranos. The Wolf of Wall Street, that is hilarious. That movie's hilarious.
How about describe the vibe or the culture in one sentence?
Fun, family, and like I said earlier, everybody's willing to help everybody out. Even if you're considered their direct competition, there's no hesitation in that from a lot of them.
If a brand new agent asks you why Mantle, what would you say?
Everything I keep repeating. You'll be able to have questions answered quickly, correctly. You won't have to wait. You won't ever be in a state of confusion or I don't know or a panic, because there's plenty of support system around here to make sure you do know what you're doing. You are answering questions and handling things correctly so that you can have the trust in your clients and then also not get sued because you're doing things the right way.
All right, I got another question for you about if a brand new agent came to you.
Okay.
If a brand new agent is comparing based off of commission splits, what would you say to them? Because that's what so many people look at. How much is it going to cost me to hang my license? How much am I going to make?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what other companies' commission splits are. For me, it wasn't necessarily even about that. It was about the people, self and Bonnie. So if they're worried about money, then maybe they're doing it for the wrong reason anyway.
What would you say to someone who's at a brokerage that no one picks up the phone when they have a question?
I don't know how you're able to do your job the right way if you can't get advice from others or help from others, especially if you're brand new. I mean, you're not gonna know everything. So if you don't have that good support system, I feel bad for you. I feel like you should go find it.
If you had to compare, now that you've been in real estate for almost a year, what other occupation do you think it's sort of close to?
I mean, I guess like the Wolf of Wall Street type deal. It's close. I mean, I guess it's sales, I guess, but you know.
I was going more of, and I'm gonna re-ask you for this, that it's something different every damn day. Like,
yeah, oh, definitely.
It's sort of hard to, like, as a new agent or just even me in general, like doing Matt's people, like there's fucking shit that I'm like, I gotta look this up or think about it as a whole.
Yeah.
So now that you've been in real estate for about 9 months, can you compare it to any other job that you might think of it be like or that it is like in your opinion?
No, I mean, like I stated earlier, you have to make yourself do things. Every day is different. You can go to the office, you can work from home, you can work offsite, there is no blueprint. It's whatever you want to make it and however you want to make it. So, but I enjoy that aspect of it.
What's the worst part about being a new real estate agent?
The worst part about it?
Yeah, what's the worst part? You gotta be real people.
Yeah, the worst part is just the unknown and not knowing when your next paycheck's gonna come. That's the worst part. And then budgeting and planning out. You know, when you do get a deal done and you do make some money, how to make sure that you don't just go blow it all because you don't know when the next one's coming. That would probably be the hardest part, but I was somewhat used to that because I've only worked for myself anyway.
I was gonna say dumbass agents.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of those. There's some of those. There's a lot of scammers and people wasting your time, and sifting through that is a difficult part too, and almost annoying.
Somebody's watching one of these videos. Can they reach out to you and talk to you directly about your real estate career, what it's like working at Mantle, any of those kinds of questions? Are you free to open those kinds of questions?
Yeah. So 1 year ago, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I decided to jump in and do real estate. I know what it was going to be like, and I was blessed enough to be able to make $30,000 in commissions last month. Yeah. So if you're new to real estate, you are at one of those big firms, you don't feel like you're getting the help that you need, let's talk. I mean, this might be the place for you.